We've had a fair amount of discussion of 6-volt Cubs and what it takes to make them turn over well enough to start. So I thought I'd take a look at a few of the things that are worth checking to make sure that it's in order and you might be able to get it to go. First off, keeping it on a battery maintainer so that the battery is fully charged is not a bad idea, especially in cold weather. And you put the clips on this 6-volt starter quite easily by simply attaching it to the lug that's on the starter switch. You just have to be a little careful because you are kind of close to the lever for the starter switch and you don't want to accidentally cause a short. Other than that, it's a pretty convenient place to use. Now this particular tractor, I've had it since sometime back in the early 90s, and I did a little bit of stuff when I first got it, and most of it hasn't been touched since. The starter, just whatever shape it was in when I got it. I really haven't done anything to it. Doesn't show any particular evidence that it's ever been changed, although the switch itself, since it's just black color, probably is a replacement from some time in the past. And just to add a little more information about the conditions here, the engine is filled with 10W30 oil, so it's not the thickest that might be in there, although we're inside a shed. You can see the temperature is about 40 degrees, maybe just a touch under. Let's take a closer look. Let's open that up and see what we find under there. Okay, when I got the tractor, there was no ground cable on here, and so I just went down to Pep Boys and looked to see what they had, and got the shortest they had, which was of course a 4-gauge, too light for using the 6 volts. And it was also a little too long to fit in here, so a couple of curlicues twisted into it, and it was able to reach and attached to the original location on the box. The box itself was fairly rusty at the time. I did a little cleaning up and painted it and bolted it back down, put the ground strap back in the original position. Just as a precaution, I added this insulator on top of the other terminal just to help make sure that it didn't short out. The looks of that cable, it may very well be the original still. Hard to tell whether it really is. If it isn't the original, it's certainly the original style. And it's got layers of paint on it going back to what may be the earliest paint job the tractor's received. So we got a few things going against us here. We're connected through the battery box. The battery box probably hasn't been touched since the early 90s. Using too light of a ground cable, and we're attaching it through the box and doing that what essentially amounts to the hard way. So that's kind of what we've got to look at here. Okay, I've climbed up on the seat now. There's a whole lot else to see from up here, but we can give things a try and see what happens. First thing, there's always the discussion of clutch pedal. Do you hold it down when you're starting, or do you leave it up? Of course, they will turn a little easier when it's up, but frankly, after 60 years, force of habit, I put my foot on the pedal, hold it down when I'm trying to start it. If it doesn't start well, then I might take the foot off and get it to turn a little easier. But if it'll start with my foot on it, good enough. So we check, make sure it's in neutral, do the usual settings, but this time I'm not going to turn it on because I just want to see how well it'll turn over with the clutch pedal down and hit the switch. Not too bad.